You're watching KTN Prime. Stakeholders in the education sector are calling for the immediate release of the school calendar to guide the resumption of learning. Teachers' unions, NAT and KUPPET also continue to agitate for the safety of teachers and learners before classes can resume. Our reporter Emmanuel Tor with more details.
The COVID-19 hiatus has continued to ground over 15 million learners countrywide. However, even as tertiary institutions continue to jumpstart learning in the country, a substantive calendar for learners in other levels is yet to be made public, the issue rubbing NAT the wrong way.
Unions and organization greatly determines the quality of education in this country. It is now time to have all the children back to school, and the Ministry of Education should urgently release the school's calendar.
I wish to urge all of us to give the teachers the great support and cooperation, including psychosocial support, to enable them handle the learners once physical learning, which we expect to resume in the near future, starts.
NAT also gave the reducible minimums for the safety of teachers and learners before a full resumption of learning.
But now our classrooms are large. They are no longer classes. They cannot sustain themselves within the COVID environment. It is something that we need to rethink and rationalize the class sizes. Teachers aged 58 and above will require immense support, health-wise, and the support should be extended to teachers and learners with pre-existing health conditions.
And as the unions recounted their success stories, the acute shortage of teachers also took center stage. The Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, KUPPET, delving into the matter, calling for the recruitment of more tutors.
To cope with the new student numbers, Kenya needs at least 150,000 new teachers in the public service.
Tunapofungua hizi colleges, wahakikishe kwamba walimu wetu wako safe, wako na mask, wako na maji, wako na social distancing ambayo inatakikana pamoja na wanafunzi.
The Teacher Service Commission TSC has already hit the ground running in an exercise to recruit 5,000 teachers by January 4th, 2021. The stakeholders were speaking during the World Teachers Day, which is an annual event marked every 5th of October to celebrate teachers globally. Emmanuel Tor, KTN News, Nairobi.
Now, this comes as low turnout of students characterized day one of the resumption of in-person teaching in universities and colleges across the country. This comes after a directive from the Ministry of Education that universities and TVET institutions resume in-person learning today. Kevin Ogutu with that report.
It was a sigh of relief for the thousands of final year students from across the country whose journey towards completion of their various courses was cut short by the COVID-19 pandemic. And as the universities and colleges admit their final year students, it is not all rosy.
Yes, we are reducing the number of students in the hostel, in the lecture halls to about 1/3. We know to maintain this 2-meter distance. And they have been so arranged to accept the students, starting with Wednesday when they start the examinations.
It is good for our stakeholders to know that we are almost 100%. We are not 100%, but we are almost there.
TVET students in Uasin Gishu County are happy to be back. Even as they are counting losses courtesy of the COVID-19 pandemic, they say it is better to be late than to fail to reach your destination altogether.
But because of COVID-19, I was not able to sit for my final exam. So definitely, it has taken me a few steps back. Yeah.
How does it feel to get back to school?
It feels nice. I'm finally going to finish. Yeah, so I'm really, really happy to be back in school, and our teachers have really received us warmly, and COVID precautions have been taken, so yeah.
COVID-19 has really affected us in studies because I was to finish my exam in July, then I was to join my university next year, but because of COVID-19, I'm supposed to do my exam next year, then join university next in 2021.
For universities and colleges, this is a time to re-engineer themselves and their operations.
We are not expecting all the students to come at once. So we are going to monitor the students as we move on. We have already identified which groups can come first, which means that social distancing and everything will be met. But those other groups might come later in the future as we move on.
It has its own challenges, but then a situation like COVID, nobody expected it, and therefore we have had to re-engineer ourselves to continue to operate. We cannot close the university, you cannot close the country because of COVID. We must learn to live with it as we cope with it.
The resumption of in-person learning coincided with the World Teachers' Day, with the Kenya Women Teachers Association calling upon teachers to take seriously the lessons COVID-19 pandemic has taught them.
Because if we had a program where teachers can go to teach at home or teach online, we wouldn't be in this stalemate. So the real reason for today is to ask teachers to prepare to digitalize teaching and to reimagine a new way of doing things.
Kevin Ogutu, KTN News.
Away from matters education, the Northern White